What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another Square Golf launch monitor video. For today's video, we are going through the closest to the pin capabilities here within the Square Golf software. So as you're seeing on screen, the main features here so far, I'm expecting them, I mean this is still a really new unit, I'm expecting them to add more features and capabilities in the future, or at least I hope so. But the main four ones that you can do, multi-game, which is grayed out, so I guess that's coming to where you can play people online. That'll be really cool. Still not sure why Garmin never was able to do that. Maybe something in the future. Always thought that it would be cool to be able to play someone live or against someone or with someone with Home T Hero. But the four main features as of right now are just the driving range. It says driving ranges, but you get the data mode and then the main one with the yacht. Maybe they'll do more of those. The game mode where you can play the full courses. There's 10 courses available, 10 more coming. Putting practice, which I just did, and for this video we are going to do closest to the pin. So I mean, even as it is, for $700, still a really good value. These practice modes don't take any of the credits, so I'm still at 982. Last night I did a live stream and I played 18 holes, so that's why I'm a little bit less. But GS Pro, all these practice, the ranges, the putting, the closest to the pin, doesn't use any of the credits. So as for this, the closest to the pin, we're going to do random, try to challenge myself a little bit. You can do fixed, so basically the same distance. If you want to work on a certain club from a certain distance, you can do increasing from whatever you set it to, or we're going to do random. Green speed, we're going to leave at 8, which is still pretty quick. It goes all the way up to, I think, 13, which is really fast, but even 8 is pretty quick. Minimum distance, looks like 10 is going to be the shortest, and we'll keep it to 110. I'm going to do mainly wedges here. For the max distance, you can go all the way up to, I think, 200. Yeah, 200 is the max. So we're going to keep it at 110, mainly keep it with 60 degree, 56 and approach wedge. Over the past couple days since I've had this thing, I've probably hit 1,500 shots or somewhere around there. So I've hit a ton of shots. Distance is not quite there. Speed's down. My body's feeling it. So I figured show you guys the closest to the pin capabilities here and save my back a little bit versus taking fuller swings with some other clubs. But concede distance, you can set it to 0 feet. So you basically need to putt it every single time. 4 feet is the largest, and even that's still pretty small compared to GS Pro, but we'll leave it on that. And let's get into it. Camera mode, you can do tracking or fixed. Tracking seems to be much better than fixed. Fixed is kind of like you hit the shot and you just watch it go. You can't really see what it does just from the shot, from the space or the area that you hit it from. Tracking actually follows the ball, which is good. So let's get into it. Random distances here. So first shot, we've got a 30-yard shot, 11.4 to the front. Let me just see. Did I move this? I didn't. So closest to the pin, you can see it up here. I'm moving it. It's showing distance to the hole, closest to the pin. So you can see the metrics. I'm going to move my video up. Hopefully that didn't mess with anything. But just so you can see the ball speed and everything down below. I forgot to do that before. But that'll be fine for now. So 30 yards, 11 to the front. You get the heat map over here, which is pretty cool. Let's try. I'll probably, considering I'm only using 3 clubs, I'll just leave them out. I'll pull out my 56, I'll pull out my 60, and the approach wedge. For the 30-yard shot, we'll go 60. I am just using the regular ball. One, because I like using whatever balls that I want. They're cheaper, and really the main reason for this is because these wedges, which I've talked about, I've had these for a while now since I got my clubs. I got these on Amazon. They're forged, and they have milled faces. But the thing with these, which is kind of a double-edged sword, really good thing and a bad thing, is you get so much spin on these things, they literally tear the cover off the ball. So I'm afraid if I do something like this with a lot of wedge shots, that I'm going to tear up one of those square balls really quick. So just going to use the regular Callaway Chrome softballs. I can go to Walmart and buy more of these if I need to. But 30 yards, let's get into it, see what I can do here with the 60. All right, a little bit long. Not horrendous. 34 yards. Is it going to make me putt these? No. So I don't know what the deal was with the concede distance then. If it doesn't make you putt it, you just move on anyways. Not sure if that's another feature coming in the future, but now we're up to 90 yards. So I'm going to go choke down approach wedge. This is something that I could see myself doing. One, I just did the practice before with the putting. I really need to work on putting if I'm going to start turning on with GS Pro, so I need to do that. But this, a lot of times the wedges, I feel like sometimes they let me down. So being able to bounce around or hit the same shot over and over again, I know you can do that within GS Pro. But this is something if you're solely want to practice with this unit, if you're using your phone or your iPad or whatever, really, really cool feature to have. So 90 yards here. We're going to do choke down approach wedge, just shy of my 100-yard shot here, hopefully. Start a little bit left, 83. 70 yards now. We'll go 56 degree, about a 3/4 56, I think. And what do we have? So we have total shots, we have the time going, and then all it shows is the last distance. So the last one was 6.5 yards, which makes sense because we had 83 and it was a 90-yard. So nothing there. Before, when I was doing the putting, it would show you how many putts you hold. It would be cool if they incorporated some kind of like point system. So similar to GS Pro with like maybe if they did different circles, like if you put it right next to the pin, 10 points, and then a little bit of a wider circle, maybe 5 points, and then 1 point if like you hit the green or something, just to kind of gamify it a little bit and kind of making you want to come back and play some more. That would be cool. But 70 yards. Let's try a 3/4 56. Push that one a little bit right. Ooh, not bad though on distance. Concede. So it says we got it inside the circle. You don't really get anything for that, I guess. It just still shows the total shots. Again, with the putting, I don't know if this is something where you just do it as long as you want to. So you could do this for 10 minutes or you could do it for 4 hours. I think it may just keep going. I don't know if at the end of it, after like a certain amount of shots, like 10, 20 shots, 30 shots, if it gives you like a point scoring system at the end. I'm not sure, but I guess we'll figure that out. Probably hit shots for about 20 minutes or so, and then if nothing pops up, we'll call it a day. But 30 yards on this one. We'll go back to the 60. Long again. 5.8 yards long, which isn't too bad. Probably wouldn't be that mad about that on course or GS Pro. That would have been fine. But for something like that, I mean, I carried it pretty close. I carried it 32.6, still a little bit long, and it rolled out a little bit. But 15 yards now. This is going to be a little bit of a tester. I've been noticing having a tougher time judging these short shots here with the indoor setup compared to my backyard setup. Where I am set up in the backyard, exactly 15 feet from the center line. I have the same exact mat outside. I'm 15 feet from the center line to the start of the net. So I kind of use that and the how high or low I hit it on the net as like a judgment point. For here, I'm only just under 5 feet. It's like 4.8, 4 feet 8 inches to be exact from this middle line to the front of the screen. So I mean that's like a yard and a half. Anything besides that, it becomes a lot more of a feel type of shot, and it's tougher to judge based on where I hit it on the screen and that kind of stuff. So adjustment period for that as well. 15 yards though. Go in. All right. Doesn't get too much better than that. We'll take that. Up to 70 yards now. We'll go back to the 56. Cool though that you can just bounce around here with the different shots, makes you grab different clubs, and kind of puts you into the round a little bit more. You can maybe see a little bit. I do have the projector on it. It's a very not good, pretty crappy projector, but it is just bright enough to where I can see what I'm doing here and see the result of the shot, even though you guys probably can't see much on the screen. But 56 here. I pushed that right. Club face was open. And it was a little bit chunky. 64. Honestly, for my skill level, when you go over like under 50 yards, you want to be pretty close. Ideally, if like you're hitting it like a 10, 15, 20 yard shot, you want to put it pretty close. But if I'm like 50 to 100 yards and I'm within like 5 yards of the pin, I'd be pretty happy with that, I think. But 85. So this is like an in-between distance, which is good for this this closest to the pin action because it makes me work on deciding which club I want to hit, how hard I need to hit it. This could be a more choked down approach wedge or a little bit of a fuller 56. Considering I have the 56, I'll use this. But this is appealing for someone like me, or I'm sure a lot of you out there that want to work on like in-between distances, whether you do the clock system or you choke down like I do. Really helps for those in-between yardages. 85 yards. And we hit it 69. Not great. Even this, though, the ball was pretty new before I started using it, and there's already some scuffs on the cover. These wedges, like I said, I'm not taking super full shots, but they just tear up the golf balls. 15 yards again. Go back to the 60. Oh, I thinned it. $100 yards. Approach wedge. That was a better strike. We'll see if I got 100. It might be a little bit short. 88. Like I've been saying, my back is not feeling the best. My back and my obliques, more specifically on my right side, just from hitting so many shots. So that one felt like a decent swing. I wasn't super displeased with that. Maybe if I was fresh and haven't hit so many shots the past couple of days, maybe I would have got the extra 11, 12 yards out of that. But 90 yards, if I did that same shot again, that would be pretty good. I feel like I gave that one a little bit extra. And we are a little bit long. 96. Need something right in between those. Tell you what, though, as soon as you hit the shot, the thing goes. And the fact that, like that one, I felt like I gave it a little bit more and it went a little bit further. This thing, accuracy-wise, is very impressive so far from my limited use and my limited testing. So we got 70 yards. We'll go back to the 56. Just shy of like a 3/4 56. I don't hit any of my wedges full. Chunky. Go. 65. Again, though, with the feel of it and the accuracy, if you catch it a little bit thin, like you guys saw in that 60 or that one, I caught it a little bit chunky. I knew that was going to be short. You push them right, you pull them left. It's going to show you. 25 yards. So this one's kind of in between. Could do a bit more of a choke down. Usually I like to be like 30, 35, and I pull the 56. This one I'll go back to the 60. We'll see if we can. Let's see if we can open this up a little bit and hit a little bit more of a higher flop shot, about 25 yards. A little too much on it again. 5,000 spin. We have a longer one? No. I'm curious. Next time I have a little bit longer one, maybe like 50, 60 yards, I'm going to pull the 60 degree again, open it up, and see if we can get up towards like 10,000 on the backspin. 20 yards. Too much. What's going on here? That was 30. All right, 60. Let's try a fuller swing, open it up more, see if we can get a lot of spin on this thing with a little bit more of a fuller swing with the 60 degree. Kind of tough to know what a 60 degree or 60 yards 60 degree feels like because again I don't really hit these full. I always choke down and kind of swing like mostly 3/4 as a feel for a lot of these wedges. But let's open this up. $7,000 spin. And it's short, but definitely you open up the club, you get a lot of spin on it, it's going to show you with the backspin. 70. We'll go back to the 56. You guys kind of get the idea, though. I mean, this is something that I can see myself doing for hours on end, really dialing in my wedges. Cool that they just include this. So if you're using your phone to run this, an iPad, your computer, whatever, you can just do this, pop in here, do some putting, go to the range, play the courses. Chunky. $65. Hit a few more here. $85. We'll go back to the approach wedge. And even more so. I mean, to me, closest to the pin is a little bit more of like a wedge practice type of thing. But the fact that you can go up to 200 yards, I mean, I could hit everything up until like 5-6 iron, depending on how I'm swinging it. Usually 200, 205, if I'm hitting it well, is usually my 6 iron. So I don't know about a 5. Maybe today I probably wouldn't even get 200 with my 5 iron because of how sore I am. But you are able to go up there, so you can pretty much hit most of your irons all the way through if you increase the distance. All right, 85. Better strike. May actually need to sit a little bit. And 90. 105. Stick with the approach wedge. Gave that one a little bit extra. It was a little bit of a pull, but 99, about 5 yards short. It's closer. 55. You'll see, though, we haven't missed a single shot. As long as this thing's in the hitting zone and I aligned it, I pushed the unit kind of further up now. So if I'm anywhere near right in this area on the center line, it's ready to go. So if you guys are looking to buy, this mat was really cheap. I'm going to do a detailed video of the exact products I have with all the Amazon links and the exact price of everything here. But this mat, for the quality of it, again, I've been using it outside in the backyard, the same exact mat. I bought a new one for in here. But I've been using it for months on end with pretty minimal wear. It's holding up really well. And the fact that it has the middle line for something like this gives you a good guide of where to put the ball down. Way too much. What's going on? 64? Apparently I need to do this more often. All right, 80. We'll try. We'll keep the 56. Did I put enough on it? Oh yeah, I like that. 78.9, we're within a yard. Again, not getting any of the side spin here. It's basically pretty much holding its line that it gets launched on. So that one was 2.1 degrees launched to the right. It kind of stays there without me using the square balls. So that is one thing to consider if you want it even more accurate. If you feel like you kind of leave your face open and you lose them to the right or kind of pull them to the left, you could use those square balls. But again, trying to get as much life out of those as I can and see if I can find maybe a ball off the shelf with some kind of dots on it that will work, or some kind of logos. Like I did a test earlier. I'm thinking something along the lines of like maybe like a TP5. This one has the American flags, or like a Callaway soccer ball type of ball. If I can buy those for cheaper just off the shelf and buy a case of them or two at a time without buying the more expensive square balls themselves, would be really nice. But I want to try to, I'm thinking with GS Pro rounds, I'll probably end up using the square balls for everything up until my 56 and my 60, just because, like I said, these things tear the cover off of them. So get some more life out of them. I'll probably just chip with a regular ball, and then everything else I'll have the side spin numbers with the actual square ball. 40 yards, stick with the 56 again, I guess. A little long. This should really help me, though, with my feel on some of these shots. Like when you're out on course, I always I've talked about in the past, but I like having the reference point. I guess 35. We'll stick with the 56, but I like having the reference point. I have a Garmin golf watch that gives me the exact distance. I've heard some people have chirped me about getting a distance from like 30 yards, but for something like this, like 35, if I'm on course and I have 35 yards on my watch, I go back in my memory bank and I say, all right, I've hit this shot a bunch of times in the backyard or now in here. What did that shot feel like? So something like this, without having the net and kind of seeing as much of the ball flight and having the screen a lot closer, this should help with my feel on some of these shots and kind of ingrain that muscle memory and how hard I need to swing type of thing for like a 35-yard shot. I chunked that one. All right, 100. Probably call it quits after this one. I was hoping we'd get another short one and possibly hole it out again, but that's probably pretty low likelihood. So we'll hit this one with the approach wedge, hopefully put it relatively close, and then I'll wrap this one up. A little bit of a pull, 2.6 degrees launch left. Good distance, though, 102. I'm happy with that. Decent shot, all things considered. So there you guys have it. I mean, again, I think this thing just keeps going. We've been going for about 18 minutes. I'm not sure there's a specific end. So, like, there's no, like, point system, which I was talking about before would be cool. But I think it's just you kind of do it as long as you want to. So you guys get a good idea of what this is capable of. You can, again, fine-tune any of those distances you want, whether you want to work on the same exact shot with the same exact club, if you want to increase the distances. So you start at, like, 10 yards and you work your way up 5 yards at a time or whatever the increments are, or something like this where you're doing random. But pretty cool capability. So appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to all the members. Let me know down below if you want any specific tests or see any of the specific capabilities of Square. I've been trying to go through a bunch of the different game modes, options that I can show you guys just in case you're maybe looking to possibly get one yourself. But gonna go through the Square courses eventually and then work my way back over to GS Pro and keep using this thing with GS Pro with the courses. So appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.